Hi guys, Miss Hallett here. I hope you enjoyed my friend up there in Churchill, Canada. She is my friend, the scientist, Dr. Fraser. Really great lady. Yeah, I'm very knowledgeable about polar bears and climate change. I hope you learned just a little bit. And she was so excited to hear all about your project. In fact, she wanted to use some of your projects to inform her community as well. So I am going to go a little bit more in detail about your projects this week. You are not doing your project this week. You're only learning about it. Next week, you'll be doing your projects. So what I want to do now is I'm going to go through and explain the very specifics of your project. Now, this is all you're going to do today is listen to me explain your project, and then you have 3 questions at the end. That's it. So hang with me and be strong and listen, okay, guys? So we are starting our Plight of the Polar Bear project. Your task, like Dr. Fraser said, your task is to inform the community about the effects of climate change on the polar bears. So keep that in mind as you start your project. You're informing the community. Okay, so I want you to know that you have the power to choose. You will be able to choose from a choice board of what type of project you want to do. The choice board looks like this. You will need to choose one of these ideas or come up with your own by the end of the week. Okay, so we have an informational brochure, a collage that is either digital or on paper, a poster, artwork, Google Slides presentation, a newscast on Flipgrid, a 3D model that you create that, and then you explain a 3D model with explanation. And then here's this last one is your choice. Now, if you have an idea and you want to do something totally different that's not on this choice board, that's cool. That's creative. However, I really need you to talk to your teacher about what you're thinking so they have a better idea of your idea. Okay, so in your project, you will have these 5 questions to answer. So you will need to include these answers to these questions in your project, no matter what project you do. Okay, first question, what is climate change? Second question, what causes climate change? Thirdly, what are the effects of climate change on the whole world? Fourth, what are the effects of climate change on the polar bears? And lastly, what can you do to help climate change and the polar bears that are affected by climate change? Okay, so those are the things you need to answer in your project, no matter what project you do. And here is the rubric. Your project will be graded using this rubric. Now I want to go over the top part first, okay? So these are basically the points. We'll start over here in the advanced area. That's 4 points or 4 stars, okay? And then it's gonna gently go down to 3, to 2, to 1, and then 0, okay? So to get 4 stars, you need to do these things in this column. Okay, now the dimensions are the things that categories that you will be graded in. For example, the first one is project communication, your presentation. So when you get up and you present your project to the community, we will be looking, teachers will be looking for this thing here to get 4 stars. I communicated like an expert. I used many science and vocabulary terms. Now then, like I said before, it goes down from there. The difference between 4 and 3 stars is 4 stars, you use many science and vocabulary terms, and in 3, you only use some. Then for 2, you only use a few, maybe 2 or 3. Then number 1, you only use 1. And then for the 0, you didn't use any terms or vocabulary words, okay? So the second dimension is understanding the plight of the polar bear. We really want to know that you've understood the effects that climate change will have on the polar bears, okay? So to get 4 stars, your project shows a deep understanding of the connection between climate change and the effects it has on the polar bears. A deep understanding. And then number 3 is you have an understanding. We totally see your understanding. 2, you have a developing understanding. And then 1, it shows a limited understanding. And then 0, you don't really show an understanding. Okay, that's the trick. You have to show us, okay? The third dimension is the checklist. For number 4, to get a 4, you have to have included all 5 of the answers to those questions on the checklist. You have to get all 5. To get a 3, you answer 4. To get a 2, you answer 3. To get a 1, you answer 1 to 2. And then if you get 0, you didn't answer any of the questions, okay? So now what you're gonna do for your assignment today is you are gonna go back when we're done with this video and look and analyze and read the rubric on the previous slide, the one we just read together, and you're gonna answer these questions, okay? Number 1 says, how are you going to get 4 stars in the understanding row? How are you going to do that? Think about it. What are you going to do? Look back at the rubric. The answer is right there. Okay. Number 2, what part of the project are you looking forward to and why? What excites you? What are you curious about? Okay, so I want to know what it is you're looking forward to. Number 3, do you see any challenges you might face, and why would you face those challenges? Why are they a challenge for you? Okay, so remember, we're going to have to use our growth mindset throughout this whole project. We're going to have to use that perseverance. We're going to have to ignite our character deep within, because at times it will be challenging. So identify those challenges, find them, and really work through them. Okay, guys? Well, that's it for today. Answer those 3 questions, and then we're all ready to get started on learning about all these projects, because that's what we'll do. For the rest of the week, we're going to go through and learn about all the projects you have a choice to do, or do your own. If something comes up in the middle of the week, you're like, oh, I have an idea. All right, guys? So stay curious and really, really listen and focus this week so you can pick the right project for you. Okay, guys? See you soon. Bye-bye.